Already week 5 of the season for the Iowa Western Reivers, and a game with postseason implications looms on the schedule. The Ellsworth Panthers, an ICCAC battle with that longtime rival, and again, it's on the road. Would the Reivers MASH unit have enough personnel to get it done, or would the Panthers of Ellsworth take an early foothold on the road to the Graphic Edge Bowl? Region 11 football action coming up next on the Coach Stroh Show. This is the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show on CBTV 17. The site of the first big win in program history is the location for this week's game. Iowa Falls, Iowa, a 20-17 come-from-behind win in 2009 to close season number 1 of Reaver football and the beginning of that shift in power in the MFC and the ICCAC. Hello, I'm Jake Ryan, along with the head coach of the Iowa Western Reivers, now in his 7th season. It is head coach Scott Strohmeyer. Coach, if I ever forget what year you are in, I just ask Kate Strohmeyer, how old are you? And she says, I'm 7. I'm like, oh, 7th year. So,
yep, you got it.
Every year on September 26th, that becomes accurate, and she celebrated another birthday, and we hope that she didn't miss her dad too much, although just a day trip down to Ellsworth.
Yeah, I don't think she did. She had a couple friends over, so Mom kept them busy, and the girls were running around, so I think she enjoyed it.
Well, speaking of Strohmeyer daughters, you got a chance to bring one of your daughters to the game on Saturday. Tell us a little bit about Anna's experience.
Well, she's always wanted to come to a game. I was a little bit nervous initially, but she did pretty good. You know, yeah. She helped with the water and enjoyed the whole day. She was tired when I got up for a little bit on the bus on the way home, and when I turned around, she was laid down in the whole seat and was sleeping. So I had to stand for a little while.
Well, I saw that she had her Beats by Dre headphones on the whole way. So
that was one of the things that I said. She had to wear headphones.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the game on Saturday going in. As many bodies as you could have healthy were healthy. How are you feeling about heading into the game against Ellsworth on Saturday?
Well, at the end of the game, we were down 9 starters. We started the game.
At the start of the game, let's talk about the
start of the game. We had 7 out, and I mean, we're lacking depth, and some guys had to play out of position, and it's just one of those years that we need. I told guys someone's got to step up, and here's your chance to play, and we can't have any more. I mean, we're thin at some spots, but I was pleased, with the way they came. Their mindset. It's tough. You get up in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. We ate, and then we traveled. Rode in buses, got off the bus, got taped, went over and played a game. And that's tough.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights, and we'll hopefully Coach didn't give too much away as the Reivers come out. Iowa Falls, Iowa. The Reivers always park the buses and set up the mobile locker room out in the field at Cadet Stadium or at Cadet Field. Marshall Clark getting a chance here early on as the Panthers have to struggle to bring him down. He bursts into Panther territory, and then on the next play, Zach Martin. Coach, you holding your breath every time he runs the football this year?
Yeah, and he's going through his reads. He takes a shot there. I was a little more nervous there than him running the football, but a good start, 3 plays, touchdown.
Yep, Tyus Mason scores his 9th career touchdown for the Reivers, and then Ellsworth wants to go deep. A little bit of an overthrow there. Not much wind, but you see the arm strength of Jawan Battle there, their starting quarterback.
He's a nice little player. He's really accurate, and was a heady football player.
Again, out to Marshall Clark to start the drive for the Reivers. And then it is the first sighting of Malcolm Moore on the day. Malcolm, not as much getaway power as he had in a couple games ago.
Yeah, and they did a good job. I'll tell you that. I was impressed, not knowing much about it. Their defense, they played extremely hard, and then maybe that's because everybody's getting up for us. I don't know.
Heck of a catch there by, I believe that was Jaleel Scott. And then they will go on the run this time. Xavier Washburn. Did Xavier play here or just his brother, Isaiah?
His brother. His brother was here in 2012 maybe, I think.
So the Panthers continuing to march down the field. Reivers only up 7-0, but the Reivers defense, I tell you what, the defensive line, if you're a quarterback this year, it's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, they're playing well, and we had guys playing a whole bunch more snaps than they normally have been, and So it was good to see them getting a bunch.
Jerez Diggs with the interception as that kills that Ellsworth threat, and then it's the Reivers back to work. How about a nice throw down the sideline, but Tyus can't haul it in over his head.
Yeah, we tried going down the field again and just a little bit overthrown. And
Jake Porter thought maybe he was going to have a chance to run down the field there as Anthony Johnson makes the catch. Ball was ruled down before it flipped out into the belly of the big center.
Well, I'm glad that it was, because I didn't want to see him running down trying to score.
And then it's Ellsworth gets the ball back. It's the Reivers are forced to punt it away. Xavier Washburn nowhere to go. And then Jawan Battle running for his life, throws it out on the little screen to Washburn. And I'll tell you what, he was a strong runner, Xavier was. Had racked up nearly 100 yards a game coming in.
You know, he is. He's not the breakaway speed guy, but I'll tell you what, he's tough to bring down, and he's just hard-nosed yards.
Quarterback sack for the Reivers, and then Zach Martin to work again, but he will be forced to rush out to the side, tripped up toward the sideline, and again, holding your breath every time he makes a run out of the pocket.
I was hollering as he's running to the sidelines, behind. I thought the guy was going to catch him before that and strip the ball.
And then it's a completion to Tyus, and then a completion down the sideline to Tyus. So Mason, a pair of consecutive completions, and then the throw down the field, a little bit strong on that one.
Yeah, and it was kind of a mix up there. We've just again got an opportunity trying to get it down the field.
The catches that they made on the day were pretty spectacular. I tell you what, they've got some athletes on that team, and here's another toss out to the big running back Xavier Washburn.
They do a good job, like I said, schematically and some good athletes.
They lined up, I want to say, 4 consecutive times in that little diamond formation, and then they go to take a shot down the field, and Stacy Keeley coming from the backside, Dietrich Bing Dukes coming from the front side, and Jawan Battle just goes down.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we got after him a little bit. The whole day he was taking some hits, and we were getting some pressure on him.
Nick Easley has moved himself into some playing time with the result of Turner Gaines being hurt, and he makes his first catch of the day there. And then a handoff to Tyus out of the backfield. So you're using that Tyus-Nzambo combination. And we asked Tyus a couple weeks ago, here's the big one, 70 yards to Anthony Johnson, whether Tyus likes to catch or receive. He says, I just like to be on the field.
Yeah, well, that's good. And that's the way he is, too, whatever he's got to do.
That 70-yard touchdown to Anthony Johnson was Anthony's first touchdown as a Reaver. And then guess what? The other way, here comes Ellsworth. And Ben Garlock, what a touchdown-saving tackle there just outside the 10. And then, of course, it's all about getting in on the quarterback, Jawan Battle, running for his life. Here's again, he scrambles out to his right on his feet. And then guess what? Another Spaeth sandwich as Ben Spaeth takes him down. And then the field goal, the wider high school uprights still clings off the upright. Reivers going to work. Zach Martin down the far sideline, and of course that's on your sideline. And nearly a dangerous pass. Anthony Johnson, the intended receiver. And then quickly again into the hands of Malcolm Moore. And just, let's keep it going here. Into the hands of Malcolm Moore. Again, he couldn't get away like he could against Dodge City last week.
Right, they were flying around, and Zach got banged up a little bit on the play before, so Brock's in there now, and now we just we're up to 2 touchdowns.
And you just continue to run the football. Brock coming in because Zach took off on a run, and maybe you talked about sliding down. He kind of went down head first. I thought he got a late hit on him. What did the officials say?
It was close. They said, no, we'll take a look at it. Well, it's not going to do that any good there. But
yeah.
I mean, it was close. The only thing that is everyone knows, that he's hampered right now,
right.
and we're trying to protect the quarterback, but it's a game of football, and that's the way it happens.
The Reivers are up a couple of touchdowns at the half, but how would they respond without their starting signal caller in the second half? More Stroh Show right after this on CBTV 17.
Okay, it's decision time. I want to experience a 4-year college in 2 years. I want to live on campus but get to my career faster. I want to get started now. Find your path at iwcc.edu and get hands-on, real-world experience. Start now at Iowa Western.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
From the studios of CBTV 17 in Council Bluffs, Jake Ryan, along with Iowa Western head football coach Scott Stroh. Coach, last week we in the booth were a bit more confident in your offense. It was Zach Martin. We saw the hit in the first half where he was stung a little bit. What was the conversation at the half with your team, specifically the offense and backup quarterback Brock Larson?
Well, one, we had to make some adjustments, I think, and then your game plan changes a little bit. Ellsworth did a good job. They're taking us out of some things, and we were going to put ice on it. We're just going to see how it felt at halftime. So we really didn't make that decision. But really, the time for me was spent of trying to get Brock caught up in some of the things that they're doing differently, than maybe we anticipated. Well, we will take a look at those second half highlights. We'll see how Brock and the O did as the second half commences from Iowa Falls. Reivers breaking the huddle and are up 14-0. It is Ellsworth that goes to work immediately. A handoff to Xavier Washburn and maybe a little bit of downhill. They try a little razzle dazzle here, coach. Haven't seen this much this season as Jaleel Scott gets the reverse. Trying to get something going. They come out of the half. Nice run and then the reverse. And tackle by Mark Hall there, Dietrich Bing Dukes and Ben Spaeth as well helping out. And then battle down the sideline and just a little bit too much mustard on that pass, maybe a bit of a misread on the route run. And then Tyus, another strong run, gets bent over backwards, still stays in the ballgame. I thought he might be dinged up after that play. Well, we were holding our breath at that point too. And Jawan Battle just overwhelmed by the Reaver rush this time. Still on his feet, running around, and that one I thought we were going to see a fat guy touchdown. Merrick Jackson nearly ran right into that one, and that would have been an easy 6 for Merrick. Well, if he would have made it to the end zone, but yeah, it should have been. He didn't have much to go, coach. Come on, give him some credit. Throw down the sideline, nice over-the-shoulder grab by Jerry Jones, who not only did he like the team so much, he bought it, and now he's playing for him. Yeah, exactly. He's a good little player, though. Another throw in, and a great read there by D.A. Williams, just stepped right in front of that football. Well, the guy on him, he was guarding, supposed to be guarding, just kind of, Jerry Jones was just standing there, and the D.A. went and made a play. Big interception there as the Panthers had gotten inside the red zone. Brock taking some punishment on that run. Another turnover by the Reivers, and the Panthers aren't done dealing. Shaq Jones with the tackle there on a nice completion. Tell you what, they throw it well, and they got some good receivers, weapons over there. That one tails out of bounds, so an incompletion. Quick strike here to Jerry Jones. He slips a tackle and then is pushed out of bounds. They end up getting the ball back, and then it's John DeZombo. He's good for one big one a game. He gets the first down on that run. Well, that was big. This is a big drive. End of the third quarter here, and then getting the first down. John got one, and then us being Tyus make a couple guys miss. Well, not only did he make people miss, but what an adjustment on that tipped ball as well. Yeah. And then a quick throw. Sam Harms getting in on the act. We haven't seen him make a catch for several games. Yeah, it was good. We had some opportunities. We haven't thrown it to him, and that was a huge one in the start of the fourth quarter or sometime in the fourth, I guess. Chris Jones right at the start. It's a 21-0 at this point, and the Reivers have another fourth quarter 20-point lead, Coach. I told the guys we probably shouldn't have scored a touchdown there. It changes what they do, and then, I don't know what it was. Now Jawan Battle's legs got going. He slides down, has him working pretty close range, and then another handoff to Xavier Washburn. Overwhelmed there by the Reaver D. And, hey, why not? Just keep punching it forward and see if the Reivers can stop him. I'll tell you what, he did not go down easy at all day. No, he didn't. Tell you what, I knew he was a tough runner because he played last year, but, man, he was pretty impressive. They blow the play dead as the Reivers stack him up, and then a shot to the end zone. There it is, the first touchdown of the game. Jerry Jones makes the catch. The extra point blocked by the Reaver special teams. Well, it was a fourth down play they got. That's the disappointing thing. They scored 2 on fourth downs, and we got to come up with that stop. But now we have to drive the ball, get some first downs, which we get one here, which helps. We got to keep finishing that one there. We got to take. That's just a young quarterback. Despite the sack, he looks much more comfortable in the offense here in week 5 than he did in week 2 and week 3. For sure. And that just comes with more reps, I think, and gaining confidence in himself. Speaking of gaining confidence, Jawan Battle starting to feel it. He's chucking the ball all over the field. Another big completion down the middle into Reaver territory. And then, we'll just huck this one up and see what we get. How about, oh man, a big hit by Ben Carlock. That's what we got. That was huge. We got to make that play right there. You can't give him those. It's just an assignment.
Jaleel Scott, and then the two-point conversion rollout. Isaiah Smith makes the catch on the outside. He high steps into the end zone. So now 21-14. Feeling the pressure, Coach?
No, but
we were upstairs.
Hoping we could get a first down here, and that's really the big thing. Make people, that's we'd like to have that play. Make that one, get a first down. Instead, we give it back to them, and then we're going to run the clock. Well, then we have a holding penalty, so we can't run 40 seconds off. We can only run 25. So just one of those deals.
And then, of course, this is with the drive going down. This is no timeouts left for Ellsworth. You guys get the interception off a tip ball. Ben Garlock, another big play. They called both of their remaining timeouts during this drive for you.
Yep. And this is where it was, where we're trying to, we got to get a first down there, but we're trying to run the clock 40 more seconds down, and that's when we got the holding penalty and
completion out of bounds there. As again, they're trying to make something happen as the clock ticking down in Iowa Falls. We were, again, very nervous in the booth. We're like, is this happening again? And then the big run here by Juwan Battle as he gets all the way down to the goal line, or excuse me, outside the 10. And then
this was probably one of the bigger plays right there,
where he slips down instead of making any forward momentum. Absolutely. And then the run toward the end zone. Schwickerath hits him. The ball blows up in the air. I never saw an indication of who recovered, Coach, but it didn't matter. The clock expired. You guys win it, 21-14. Another wild finish. At least people are staying tuned for the most part to the broadcast.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are. It's intense to the end. I mean, the ball gets popped up in the air, and all I was thinking is, who's it going to pop right into their hands and get a touchdown on it? And I'm thinking the whole time, if they do score, they're going for two. So, not that we necessarily thought they were going to, but in my mind, they were going to go for two, if they ended up getting it. But a huge play. You got to make a play at a certain time, and defensively had to pick up the offense. It struggled a little bit, in the game, and Keith made a play at the end.
A huge play by the defense, and I tell you what, Zach Martin, only playing a half of football, had a huge day as well. He goes for 2 touchdowns, and very, very consistent football for Zach Martin, really starting to settle in comfortably. And I know that it's probably going to be a day-to-day this week as he gets a little bit healthier. That injury is just going to be banged up all year, isn't it?
Well, it will, he goes 16 for 20 for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns in not even a half of football. And we knew going into the game we were probably going to have to throw it a little bit, and just the way they were playing it. So, hopefully we can get him back. We'll see. It's got to be rest, and it's unfortunate because his only chance that he was going to get hurt is if he got hit right in the spot, and he took it. He got hit when he went down on that spot. So, you can't. You can tell him not to run, or we called the play as designed. He could pull it, but he has the option to throw it. And joking with him, he probably should have thrown it. But what did he do? He's trying to make a play.
Well, let's try to keep him healthy for the rest of the season. I know that's nearly impossible when it comes down to actual competition. When we come back, another sophomore had a big day for the Reivers. The dark side stood up. Ben Garlock had a big role in that stand-up. He gets the hot seat next. This is the Coach Stroh Show right here on CBTV 17.
Schedule your campus visit today. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
The Coach Stroh Show continues here on CBTV 17. I'm IWTV student Dylan Lindbergh. Along with me is sophomore linebacker and defensive back Ben Garlock. Ben, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Obviously a rough start. You guys got off to an 0-2 start, but you've won your last 3 games. How are you able to hold off and beat Ellsworth this past Saturday?
I feel like as a defense we held them to a shutout. I mean, we had a shutout for basically 3 quarters. In the last quarter, we gave up, I mean, a good amount of points, but at the end of the day, we held them.
Yeah, like you said, you guys were up 21-0 going into the fourth quarter. They scored 14 points. It looked like it was going to be another Coffeyville/Dodge City comeback, but you guys were able to hold them off. Take me through that last play. What happened there? I just saw the ball fly in the air, and I was like, oh, there it goes.
Yeah, well, we were in man-to-man down at the goal line, and I noticed the quarterback was starting to run around, and he ran up the middle. I saw him run up the middle. He stuck the ball out a little bit before he got to the goal line, and then Keith knocked it out, and then the time expired.
I saw Juwan Johnson's stats for the game. It looked like he's a pretty darn good quarterback. Were you guys expecting him to be a dual threat running and passing coming into the game?
Yeah, we knew he could run pretty well, but actually he liked to stay in the pocket a little more and throw. But our coach Black told us that he'll run if he needs to. But I felt like we contained him pretty well.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to throw a lot of deep balls. They were trying to beat you guys in the secondary, but you guys weren't having any of that because they didn't really complete a lot of those deep throws. Take me through that big hit with the one you popped the ball out. Take me through that play. That was a pretty big play in the game.
Yeah, we were in cover 2 on that play, and they kind of ran like the same play like 2 plays ago, right across the middle. So I was kind of expecting it, and then he threw the ball to him, and I couldn't get a pick on it, so I know I had to hit him, and I knocked the ball out.
Now you guys, first 4 of the 5 are on the road. Now you got the last 4 of 6 games to end the season at home. What's it going to be like coming back home and playing in front of the home fans?
Oh, that'll be great. A lot better than on the road. Just those road trips sometimes get really long, and yeah, just playing in front of the home fans a lot better. Get more energy.
Got Garden City coming up. What are you guys looking at from them? What kind of offense do they run?
Well, actually, we haven't looked at it quite yet. We were going to do that today, but I think they just like to do a variety of routes and 50-50 run pass. That's what I would say they're going to do.
So what brought you here to Iowa Western? How did you get hooked on here in Council Bluffs?
Well, my brother came here out of high school. He's class of 2011, and I wasn't really sure where I was going to play, but since he came here and he had some success here, I wanted to visit here, and I visited, and then that's where I made my choice. I liked it, and
So your brother kind of got you hooked on here? He was a pretty big influence on how you got here?
And I got to play with him for his last season here.
Okay, what are your plans after Iowa Western?
My plans are to play wherever I get a scholarship from. It doesn't really matter where, but I'm just looking to get a scholarship and play football for that school.
All right, well, thanks again for joining us today, Ben. We're looking forward to seeing you play this weekend.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up after the break, Jake, Ryan, and the coach are back to talk about what's next for the Reivers. We'll be right back.
Okay, it's decision time. I want flexibility, more doing, hands-on experience, and working sooner. I gotta make a choice. I want to get started, now. Find your path at iwcc.edu and get hands-on real-world experience. Start now at Iowa Western.
Your future is here at CBTV. You're in the game. You take the shots. It's your story. The Media Studies program at Iowa Western. Real reality TV starring you. For more information, go to iwcc.edu.
We're back up to wrap up this week's Iowa Western Football Coaches Show. Get the oven ready. Home cooking time, Coach. Finally, not 1 but 2 straight weeks of home cooking. Jake Ryan with the head coach, Scott Strohmeyer. Coach, before the season, this weekend's game was potentially a meeting of 2 teams on the way to the postseason. And while the Reivers have staked their claim, at least the first claim, to the Graphic Edge Bowl this season, Garden City has had some questionable results on their schedule so far. You look at what they've been through. Tell us a little bit about what you know about Coach Sims' team this season.
Well, coming in, he had a very, very talented, highly touted across the board. And when he didn't get some of maybe the in-state kids that he was hoping, you know, he turned it over and some of them left. And he's had some issues. He had some staff changeover before the first game or the beginning of the season. And I'll tell you what, for what they're doing, though, I mean, they do a good job. They got good players on defense. And yes, they're giving up some points, but, you know, offensively is where they're struggling right now. But they were beating Dodge City in the third quarter. They beat Highland the first game of the year, and they haven't. I guess the Ellsworth game is the only one that's really been out of hand.
Right. Last week they were tripped up by Independence.
Yeah.
Independence getting their first win of the season. So, is there going to be any scoring in this game if Zach's unable to go?
Well, I'm hoping that.
You talked about two good defenses before.
Yeah. Well, our D needs to continue to play well, and you know, like I said, they've given up some plays, and I think that's just, you know, you're watching them and how are people attacking them, and sometimes it's maybe an error by them, and it's giving up a big play, you know, and we'll figure something out. I mean, you know, whatever it may be, if we got to play well, and we need some guys to step up. I mean, that, you know, I think we're going to get some guys back that didn't get to play, and you know, last game, you know, health-wise, so that should help us as well. And you know, there's a good chance Ray Gray, our tailback's going to be back, who started the year, you know, got hurt in Butler game. So
still your leading rusher on the season.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I know that's we need to get. That's what we got to do. Is we got to get that run game going, and he gives us a little bit more too.
Well, hopefully you won't have to do too much creative thinking in the passing game. Hopefully Zach will be ready to go by the time Saturday rolls around.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, we're gonna play it safe with them. You know, through and Brock's gonna get a whole bunch of the reps, and Jake Larson is gonna get a bunch of the reps as well.
Correct?
No relation.
Okay.
But they're both gonna get reps, and you're gonna see maybe a couple Wildcat guys like you've seen in the Highland game, and we'll see if we can't piece something together.
All right, and the game will kick off at 1 o'clock. That does wrap up this week's edition of the Coach Stroh Show. The Reivers will be back at home this Saturday. The kickoff 1 o'clock as we start October with the annual Pink Out game. Make sure you join us early at Lewis Central's Titan Stadium for the 1 o'clock kick. Tailgate Village will be where we're at for the free tailgate previous to the game. That's put on by Barley's and Glory Days. They take the show from the 100 block down to the field. Pre-game entertainment will be provided by the Midways beginning around 11:30. That'll be, again, before the game against Garden City. We'll honor a pair of cancer survivors during the game, actually before the game and at halftime. And the Reivers will be outfitted in pink gear, courtesy of CHI Health and Methodist Health. Pre-game begins on 89.7 The River at 12 noon with Jared Ingram and Russ Nelson. Kickoff at 1 o'clock inside Titan Stadium. I will talk with you then. Thanks again to head coach Scott Strohmeyer, sophomore Dark Side member Ben Garlock, both of them coming out and being on the show today. And again, thanks to the Iowa Western students for getting us on the air and putting today's show together. And thanks to you for tuning in each and every week. We hope you enjoyed the show today. This has been the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show, the Coach Stroh Show. We'll be back next week. We'll see you Saturday at the stadium. This week, remember, wear pink, be loud, and go Reivers.